Me and my friend were just talking about positioning yourself in order to make a certain amount of money or for the opportunity to come through, So we were talking about making £10,000 a month as an arbitrary figure. And then I was kind of speaking about what systems you have in place to make that happen. Like, what is your current ceiling? How can you be expected to make that kind of money if you don't have the systems or the structure in place for that to happen? um, Whether it be your full-time job or some kind of business you got going on, like how can you make that happen? um, because if you don't have a system in place or a product that you're selling or a service that you're selling, like how can you do that? So yeah, we were just discussing that, just walking on the seafront. It's a nice day. But yeah, if you don't have these systems in place or the skill set or the products in place or whatever it might be, do you have a good website? Do you have a easy way for someone to pay you? Can't pay you? Or are you selling products? Like, can people buy products? Can you deal with the quantity of like orders? Can you deal with the demand of your product? Like, if you're going to try and make a million pounds, is the infrastructure in place for that to happen? Because if not, then it's never going to happen. Like, not even £1 million. I mean, that's a pretty huge number. But let's talk about, say £100,000 a year. If you're in a salary position, obviously that's a bit different. You can work your way up the ladder and get a higher paying job. But if you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur, what systems in place do you have that can make that happen? Like, for me, I run an Etsy store, and that can generate, as many sales as possible, right? Like, there's no ceiling to it. Like, I've got the software, I've got the fulfillment in place, that the ceiling, there is no ceiling. But if there is no ceiling, that means it's like infinitely scalable. Whereas if you've got a ceiling, like you're limited by your job or your career or the time you've got, then what can you do about that? How can you improve that? What things do you have in place that allow you to make these targets that you have in your head, this £10,000 a month or whatever? What can you actually do? Like, can you actually fulfill that £10,000 a month? Like, I work as a designer, freelance, and if you work out the numbers, if you have a day rate, whatever that might be, like say £300, £400 day rate as a designer, how many days a month do you have to work to make 10 grand a month? It doesn't add up. You can't do it. You physically can't do it, and that'll be you burnt out. So you need to come up with other ways to do this. So this might be packages, this might be quoting on jobs as a full job, as opposed to quoting day rates. But yeah, like the package of your website, your whatever, your social media, the leverage that you can use, the AI, the team that you build. How can you leverage that to get to where you want to go? What systems are in place? I'll repeat that, but that's kind of the point. It's like, what do you have in place to make that happen? Because if you don't have that in place to make it happen, it's never going to happen. I'm kind of thinking about that now as a designer, and offering my services as like a day rate. Like, yeah, you do the maths on it. For me to earn that much money, I'm going to be working my tits off, probably stressed out of my head. But even so, it doesn't hit the number, right? If I charge currently what I'm charging, it's not going to hit that number. So yeah, if you've got a store that's set up and in place, you can scale that to however much you can sell, essentially, like as fast as you can ship the stock. If you're using one of these fulfillment things like I am on my Etsy store, I technically have no upper limit. I can basically I could sell £100,000 worth of product in a month. That's not happening right now. I'm currently only selling about, I don't know, what, £1,500 worth of product, but it's systems in place. So if you are selling products, how many have you got to sell to make those margins? What are your margins? Like, it's like, that's going to be, think about that. How many of your product have you got to sell before you make the money you want to make? It's all important. What are your business challenges right now? What are you guys thinking about? Because that's what I'm thinking about. It's difficult out here, but we can do it. Basically, that's it, really. If you don't have the systems in place to take on the quantity of work or money you want to gain, then I don't think you're going to do it. So think about that. What systems do you have in place? Get them in place. Whether it's store or your business, how do you offer yourself to people? That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, cool. All right, have a good one. Subscribe. Bye bye.